All right, let's do it. All right, welcome back everybody to the Boulder Boy Show, episode number 34. We're a little split up today. Drew's up in where are you, Drew?
I'm in Beaverton at Nike headquarters for the first ever Nike Trail Team Summit.
Dude, you're currently sitting in which building?
I'm in the LeBron James building currently.
That's amazing.
The little pod have a name that you're sitting in?
I know I'm just in one of those like little phone booth things.
Does LeBron walk around in sleepers at night though?
Yeah. LeBron wouldn't fit in this little phone booth. That's for damn sure. So
that's funny.
Where
That's funny. Well, where am I?
Yeah.
I caught maybe a little cold or something, so got to keep the boys healthy. So I'm at my house, calling in from down the road to these guys who Matt, Adam, and Moy are chilling at the HQ.
Chilling at HQ.
Yeah. So this is the first podcast of the long-awaited Year of the Boy.
That's right.
The Year of the Boy. Somebody who came up with that? Somebody over this past weekend at Black Canyon said
it was me.
It was Adam. Okay.
You're so good at branding. Right. The Year of the Boy.
It was right after Chinese New Year, you know what I mean? So it's like Year of the Boy.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Super quick announcement to start. If you liked any of the merch you saw on our YouTube channel over the weekend, you can buy it on at boulderboys.show. It's super helpful, actually. It helps us. We're not just pocketing the money. We're like creating more stuff with the money.
Reinvesting. And even if you don't buy something, be sure to join the newsletter because we've got some sick ideas cooking.
Yeah. We got some sweet stuff coming. And obviously, like, subscribe to the YouTube and stuff. Dylan, I know a couple episodes ago, we made a joke that Dylan was like a whole production crew, and he like outdid entire production crews over the weekend. So, yeah, check out those videos on YouTube if you get a chance.
Can we actually give a shout out to Dylan? Like, he worked so hard over the weekend, just as a good friend of you, Seth. Like, he was running video, he was running photos, he was staying up late, like after runs and after races to edit cuts. Like super talented. It would be really, really cool if he started getting some work in the trail space. And so, folks, check out what he did, and like shoot him a DM. He's super easy to work with. Like, just
and he brought the vibes for the whole weekend. It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want for him to get too much job though, because then he like won't be with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have him blocked out for the Western states, all right, no matter what. But no, that's a good point, Drew. If anybody liked his, I mean, his work was honestly, it's some of the best running content I've seen out there in my entire life. I think.
Word.
If you liked it, like hit him up. He's a professional, so.
Moy kept going around all weekend to Dylan, being like, I think there's something here. You should think about doing this as like a career.
He will always be like, yeah, maybe. He will be like, yeah, maybe there's something. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a try. He just like plays along with it. But for me, the crazy thing is, said race on Saturday. By the way, we were at a race last weekend. If you are not aware, we'll tell you all about it.
It'll probably be in the title.
Adam and I, we were racing on Sunday. Dude, I get up at like before 5, I think, and Dylan is already like editing on his computer in the kitchen.
That's crazy.
He says that he went to sleep. I don't think so.
Dedication.
No, it is true. Like every night I would go to sleep, he'd be sitting there in the corner in the kitchen, like still in a cycling kit because he would go for a bike ride.
Yeah.
And then I'd wake up and it was still him. Thankfully changed out a cycling kit, but in the morning, like before I woke up. So
I'm sure he
production
on like the YouTube or the Instagram like reels we did, but how could people get in touch with him if they are interested? Like what's his handle and stuff?
I'll link it in the show notes. But his Instagram's at Dylan, the number 4C, because his name's Dylan 4C.
Sick.
So I'll link it in the show notes. But no, yeah, super super exciting weekend down in the canyon.
Let's not bury the lead. Like what happened?
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
Dude, we won a race, which is crazy. Feels like a long time coming.
It happened.
Yeah.
Dude, first race we've won since like the Boulder boys started.
No, Matt won
Right, Matt
a
won.
bunch.
Yeah.
Matt
Yeah,
won
Matt won like 2 races. Yeah, that's right. Well,
Yeah.
it was a while ago though, you know?
Yeah. Well, so it's okay. I'm glad you mentioned this. So I was listening to Single Track Pod today, and they were doing a recap on Canyons or Black Canyons 100K, and they were confused by where our slogan "We win races."
Dude.
We win 2020. Okay, hold on. We win 2025 races in 2025, and so I think we need to like clear that up. Like what
Dude,
that actually
okay. I actually have a qualm with this because any astute listener knows exactly where that came from. They had no idea. I actually DM'd the Single Track and was like, if you know, you know, you know. But so if you're just now hopping on and we're like, man, what does that even mean? All year last year, like we, other than Matt, early in the year, we were kind of like, I was laying eggs. We were kind of not having the greatest year, and we'd always joke like, I went and raced in February last year and DNF'd, and I was, the joke was like, oh, you don't win August races, which is like CCC and UTMB in February, and then August comes around, DNF. None of us have the day we dream of, and it's like, okay, well, we don't win 2025 races in 2024. And then so by the time this year came around, our whole goal was like, let's win some 2025 races in 2025. So, yeah, it's starting the year right. No, it was it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I think it's been like I think I don't know how you guys feel, but it's been tough to like start something and kind of be very public about us as people to a few thousand fans, and I feel like carrying that, I don't know if it's like carrying that weight, but like every time I raced last year, I was like, man, like I really want to do well for like for myself, obviously, and for you guys, but like also like this fan base that we created. And so I think every race I like didn't do well or dropped out, it was like even tougher, and like kudos to the fans, like actually just got stronger through the failures, which is like crazy cool. So it was cool to like go to Black Canyon and pull out a win, and like I don't know, because like I know from being a fan of track runners and particularly like the Coffee Club for example, like I listen to their podcast and like I feel like I know them, so I'm so invested in their racing, and like when they win, it's like I'm excited for like 2 weeks, and so to like be able to give that to maybe some fans is like it means a lot actually.
Okay, so Seth, break it down for us a little bit. Like, how did training go leading up to the race, and like, what was your mindset when you towed the line on Saturday morning?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, training was good. I think we, Drew, you and I talked about it, but I took a very controversial. It's not even controversial, but I took two camps and combined them together in my own training. I'm self-coached, but I'd like to think I'm a student of the sport, so I feel like I took aspects from like my time being coached by David Roche, and then aspects of what I've seen from like Katie Scheid being coached by Coop, and I looked at that pretty hard and was like, I think there's two truths that if you put them together, maybe it can be really good. So like
what did that look like in terms of like a typical week?
Yeah. So there's kind of two things to that. Is I guess it starts even further back because and this comes full circle. I at CCC I was going up the Col du Grand Ferret, something like that. And what is it?
Mount Italy. That's how we call it.
Yeah, I was going up Mount Italy, Mount Courmayeur even. And Hayden came by. I tied my shoe And Hayden came by me and he was like, come on, let's work together. And I like just couldn't keep up. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm not bad at ultra running, but I'm not fit enough. Like I was like, I'm not as fit as Hayden. Like just from like a one climb standpoint, I was like, I need to get fitter. And that race, I mean, I rolled my ankle, ended up DNFing, and like I literally like sat all September. I didn't train, but I like rode my bike and stuff. And the whole time I was like, I just got to figure out how to get as fit as Hayden. And in doing that, I kind of looked into different coaching methods. You know, I was looking at threshold stuff from the Norwegians, looking at David training, looking at Coop training, and I was like, I think there's something I can combine here that works for me. And so yeah, pretty much like for 2 months, November, December, and October I was building, but November, December, I was just like, I'm just going to do threshold work. Like I'm going to do a very Norwegian threshold type thing, with adding in some strides and stuff. So I was hitting the treadmill twice a week with a lactate monitor, just keeping like low threshold, and like trying to get my volume up with threshold stuff. And then after did that two workouts a week for 2 months. And then after the Christmas break, I switched to and I was doing like strides and stuff, a lot in the early 2 months. And then I switched to like almost entirely just copying Katie Scheide's training, but a little weaker because I can't do what Katie does. I'd get injured. And that was, I still keeping in threshold work on the treadmill. And so all January is just three long runs a week, 2 workouts a week, and 2 very, very easy runs a week, or 3 even sometimes. And it worked. But no, yeah. So then I guess to that point, getting to the start line, I was like super confident in my fitness because I had like never felt like that. But I was so scared of what my mind was going to do because that's where I've struggled the most. But I don't know. It's funny, like when you train super well and you have like, there's keys in training, like running with people or running with you guys and you guys telling me I'm fit. Like it's super, super motivating. Like I think I got asked a question like, what I'm just gonna go on a monologue here if that's okay.
Send it.
Of
All
course.
right. Yeah, if you any questions, hop in. But I got asked a question after like a couple days after. It was like, how did you regain confidence after like a pretty bad year last year? And I was like, honestly, just the people around me still believing in me, like you guys, my wife, like y'all's wives, like and partners, like just I don't know, like it's so tough to like after last year I thought like maybe I was just done, like maybe I didn't have it, and I think like the only reason I kept with it is because like all my friends and like you guys and my wife and stuff were like telling me that I was good.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, it was like it's like it's funny, like when you don't believe in yourself, it's like the belief of somebody else like matters so much. And yeah, you guys believed in me, and I'm gonna start crying. You guys believed in me, and it's like, yeah, it was crazy. Like even the day morning of the race, I like obviously had doubts. I was like, maybe I don't have it, But then like as I think the race went on, like I started to like believe in like the things that you guys told me, and like the things that even like Vic, my dietitian, told me and stuff. Like I started to believe it, and so like by halfway through, I was like, I mean, shoot, by like 20 miles in, I was like fully believe.
12
I
miles.
like 12 mile. I mean, yeah, I guess that's how the story goes. Like, yeah, like it took a little bit, but yeah.
Well, dude,
Definitely by like 12 miles in, I was like, I have this one in the bag.
we've all believed in you, but I feel like it goes a step further for all of us, and at least speaking for myself, like we can see it and like feel it, like definitely feel it on the runs. It's like this motherfucker's so fit, like, and just like the way you approach the sport, your energy, like it's I've always felt like, oh, it's an inevitability. Like it's going to happen. Like you just keep lining up, like it's going to happen. And so, yeah, I don't know, dude. It was so cool to see it come together in such a beautiful way on the biggest stage with, and like that all of us like could be there and got to be a part of it was just like, and Dylan pulled through and made that sick like video that will in perpetuity is just like such a beautiful thing. So it was epic.
Yeah, that was cool. No, yeah, thank you.
I mean, Seth, like I think that all of us and most folks who have ever run with you have at some point during a run been put on the ropes by you. Like like I don't think there's anyone I've ever run with so much where like I'm midway up a climb and I'm like, I don't think I can.
Yeah, that's every run with Seth. Yeah.
And so it was, and then like to be out there watching you pull together that incredible fitness, the talent that you have, the incredible like hard work that you've put in over the last 5 years. Like these things don't happen overnight, but we've all in some ways like kind of known that this was possible, and for you to do it, and to Adam's point, to then like kind of like go past what we were even like expecting is like really, really special. Like watching you, pacing you for that 20 in the middle was like, I don't think I've ever seen someone so locked in terms of like the positive self-talk you were giving to yourself and like putting out into the world, the just like calm and collected and so professional and like taking care of yourself, going through aid stations and eating well. Like it was truly a masterclass. And it was like extra special to be there as your friend and training partner. And I've been telling people all weekend Nike that like this was probably like my top 5 experience was like watching you put it all together, and that was really fucking cool.
That's crazy because you definitely had some like pretty high athletic experiences, dude.
And maybe I could hear more from like Matt or Drew, since I didn't get to pace, but I could still see like the way you were competing out there was really cool to see. Like you have like a confidence and swag about you in your daily training and stuff and racing, but it was like turned up to 11 in the sickest way on race day. So like, I don't know, dude, like, did you notice anything like out there?
Yeah. I want to add like, to your guys' point, there was 2 examples that just like stand out. Just talking about this, like first one was, I was just kind of telling Seth like where the guys behind him were when we first got going. And I was like, you know, there's this guy, Will, who like full transparency, none of us knew who he was.
We have to give him some airtime.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, killer run. Awesome dude. I was like, there's this guy, Will, and Joe McConaughey, and I don't know. And I was like, I don't know like what's going on with Eli. Like we thought Eli was right there too. And I was like, they're hard charging, dude. And then we saw him, but when I told him that they were hard charging, Seth was like, I'm not worried. Just like so nonchalant, like I'm not worried. And I'm just like, I'm all like worked up and like, oh man, I'm gonna have to like, you know, drag him along these last 10 miles. This is the end of 100K, and he's just like, I'm not worried. And then like we're going down the trail, and he's like, like my calf is kind of cramping. That's why I can't run these as hard as I want to. And I'm looking at my watch while we're running uphill, and it says 7:40 pace, and I'm thinking like, well, wait, we're running pretty damn good, like this late in the race. And then I look down at his calf to see if I could see it cramping, and there's a thorn that's like 3 to 4 inches long and like thick, just like right into the calf muscle, and blood like squirting out of it. And I'm thinking like, oh man, should I tell him like that this is here, or is that going to mess with his race or what? And then I was like, well, you got a thorn in there. Maybe like taking that out could help the cramping a little bit. And like, sure enough, like we stopped 2 seconds, took the thorn out, and then off we go running under 7-minute pace. It wasn't even there's this like needle sticking through his calf.
Dude, tell the story too.
Oh man, and this is another thing is like, I mean, there's so many examples just in 10 miles worth of running that I did with him. But yeah, like, well, I mean, I'm trying to remember where I was at, but I was like doing the math in my head, and I was like, dude, if you can get to the finish line in 38 minutes, you're going to be like well under the course record, or under the course record. And you literally just said light work. Like that was it. little like so confident, like I don't know, like expressions of how you were feeling, and dude, it made my day. Like I felt like it was such a privilege to be out there with you and experiencing that moment. And like Drew said, it's a moment I will never forget and cherish probably the rest of my running career. And it's something I'm going to always draw on when I'm racing now, for sure.
Yeah, getting to see someone access that kind of confidence,
it's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
dude, it's funny. I feel like at the end of an ultra, or like when you're in that zone, you like any filter is just non-existent, you know?
Yeah.
And so like normally I'd be like in my head, I'd be like, I'm not worried, and be like, okay. But like out loud it's like light work or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't normally say those things out
As a
loud.
truth that's coming out, like this is what's happening inside.
Dude.
well, okay, so
What?
what about like the confidence at mile like 19 when you I was
Oh,
down the road and you roll into Bumblebee, the first thing you said to me when you looked at me was like, I just won this race. I was just like,
oh,
wait a minute, dude, like you got 40 more miles to run.
And you are not even first at that point.
Yeah. And
yeah.
it was just like, wow, where did that come from?
Dude, okay, so that's actually like I think that's where the race like turned in my head from like you start these things, you don't know what's gonna happen. But there was like I think every time I've won, I've had one moment where I was like, oh, like this is my race to lose. And so we're going in. So before the race, I like maybe the day before, 2 days before, Vic, shout out Vic, dietitian. He told me he was like, dude, like make sure you're drinking a lot of water. And he was like, I would start cooling at Hidden Valley Ranch aid station, whatever the name of that hidden something aid station.
Treasure.
And Hidden Treasure. I like Hidden Valley Ranch better. But Hidden Treasure Ranch, which is like 12 miles in. It's not hot at that point. And so he was like, he just told me, he was like, I would start cooling there. And like, I thought that was a good idea. And then I think me and Drew were talking the day before about some of the stuff he learned up at Nike about cooling. And it was like, oh, like even though it's not hot, I should be on it. And so we get to that aid station, and I like had already smashed a bottle of like drink mix, and I like had it lid off, ready to fill up, and I like stopped to fill up, and I look, and like nobody else fills up their water, and I was like, dude, they're gonna run 20 miles with 1 liter of fluid. Like I was like, I couldn't believe it, right? And then I also like took the time to take my hat and like dunk it in ice water and put it on. And I was like, I just had this moment of uh, like I just couldn't believe it. Like I was like, these guys are racing in 2020 and it's 2025, like it's just, I think we've seen so much from like Rod and everybody that like hydration and keeping cool is so important that I was just shocked, man. I couldn't believe that I was the only one that stopped there. And that just like continued the rest of the day. We came into Bumblebee, and I think I was with Eli, and I can't remember if Will was with us at that point. There was a group of like 4 or 5. Came into Bumblebee Ranch at like mile 20, first time I saw you guys, and I stopped and got an ice bandana, and I like looked out of the corner of my eye, and nobody else was getting an ice bandana. I was like I just won the race. What?
You said I won the race again.
Yeah, I just like
I put 5 extra minutes here.
yeah,
Right.
I just couldn't believe it. Like, and I think in the single track pod, I said something to Brett as he was on the side of the course, which apparently he told to the rest of the world on the live stream, which was just like supposed to be with like me and Brett, like, but they were like, oh, he said nobody out here is cooling, and like I think
Fact.
Finn had it right, where like he said like, oh, Seth just seemed like he was shocked, and it was like I was like, no way am I the only one with an ice bandana coming out of here at mile 20.
A double ice bandana.
Double ice bandana, and like
So much ice.
So much ice. And then it happened again, like Gloriana Mine aid station, like mile, I don't know, 25, like 5 miles later, I like filled up another bottle. I like dunked my hat. I like got water on me, and nobody else did. And I was like, at that point, it's like proper hot. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like I could understand the hidden whatever aid station where it's like uh it's early, it's not hot yet, it's 50 degrees, sun's barely up. I understand that, but like the Gloriana mine, it was like freaking 70 degrees and sunny at that point. So yeah, each time that happened, it was like I think all of us know you only get a few mistakes in these races, and I felt like I had watched guys make three in
Dude,
the
I don't
first
know.
25 miles.
In big races like that, I feel like you get 0 mistakes. Like if you're
Yeah, okay, right. And like, dude, I mean, I was telling Eli this, like to his credit, like he learned the way I did. Like I came out to this race in 2022 and it was a hot year, didn't cool off at all, and I blew up. And like to his credit, he's such a good runner. He like blew up and finished in almost record time in fourth place. So like, yeah, like I would be terrified what he does next year if he decides to go there and like if you had one more ice cube, you might have won the dang thing, you know? So yeah, just I mean crazy from him. Like he's so good.
Yeah.
So
Well, one of the things I want to just kind of call out is that, you know, we've all been talking a lot about like the confidence that you had, Seth. And I think that the confidence that I saw was not like an arrogance of like, I'm better than everyone here at all. Like, not at all. It was more of like, you had a confidence of, it's okay for me to take an extra minute in this aid station. It's okay. Like, I'm going to do the little things right. And that's what's going to allow me to win this race. Because you probably spent throughout the day, like we were being efficient. It's actually kind of crazy.
yeah, it's pretty
When you
quick.
like look
Yeah,
back at the videos of aid stations and it's like, oh, we were pretty damn fast. But it
yeah,
feels in the moment like you're a minute or two slower than everyone else because they're just running through. But you probably ended up spending an extra 5-6 minutes in aid stations throughout the day. And there wasn't a single moment where you were stressing about that. You were just like, this is what we got to do. You know, we're going to ice
yeah,
up. We're going to stay cool. That's going to allow me to eat more. That's going to allow me to run faster. And it paid off. And so it
dude.
was cool to kind of see your development also as a runner of just being like, this is
Yeah,
part of running fast is doing all the little
yeah.
things.
Well, and you guys know more than anybody. Like that's probably the first time in my life I've done that. You know, like I've never been that. I've never stopped at aid stations that much. That was the first time I've ever worn an ice bandana, I think. Maybe I wore one once before, I can't remember, but it actually like gives me a lot of confidence for states. Like, I was on the phone with my dad before this, and I was like, the coolest thing about my training and the race is all of it is repeatable. Like, there's not a moment during the race, after the race, since the race that I was like, I couldn't go do that again. And so it gives me a lot of confidence for states to be like, yeah, it's 100 miles. I'm probably gonna like it's my first states. I'm probably gonna implode, but like uh, I feel like I can repeat at least that 100K even at states. So
Hey, Seth,
because of
people
the
have had
confidence of that.
people have had good days on their first time at states.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You
Oh,
can, you know, you belong on that podium just as much as anyone else in that race. You have that talent. You just ran a time that shows everyone that you're capable of that. And like, you just
yeah,
got to keep believing for the next 6 months or the next 4 months, whatever it is from now.
Dude,
yeah.
You can do that. Like every single day, just be like, hey, you know, I'm going to do the little thing and I can put myself in a position to jump through the window of opportunity and have a day of my dreams.
Dude,
yeah.
that's actually funny you say that because like I was hoping to get a golden ticket and I was hoping to just like be like, oh, sick, like I'll go do states, whatever. But then it's like when I run faster than the guy that got third last year, you know, like Hayden, I broke his course record, which is wild because Hayden's like top tier of the ultra running tiers, and uh, he got third last year, and now I'm like, oh, like now I have that in my head, and it's
Yeah.
like
You should.
it's a great weight to carry, you know, it's a
Dude,
fun weight to carry, I guess.
I want to riff on something Drew was saying and add a little nuance. Cause like Drew, you were talking about like the way Seth was maybe talking, not to be misconstrued as arrogant, which I agree. But like there is something about like the confidence he drew from, I don't know, Seth, what was going on in your head. But I know from races I've run, if you have a strategy, you have to be confident. Like my strategy is going to pay off. Like the race I'm running is going to win, and it's better than the race that these other people are running that are ahead of me. And so same for like states. It's like whatever confidence you were drawing from your approach to the race, you should access the same confidence in training and like kicking our ass out there on the trails. And it's just like, dude, yeah, like you are that fit. Like the training you're doing is next level, like that kind of thing. Like let it fucking run. Let the train just run away. Like that, in my opinion, like, I don't know. Like, and I think anyone can maybe take a lesson from that, whether you're trying to just run a PR or like get the race done and beat the cutoffs. It's like, get into that, like, this is happening for me. I like what I'm doing is working. I am that good. Like it works, you know?
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to think about like states and everything, but I haven't thought too much about it. Trying not to, but yeah, it is crazy. Like again, it's probably the first time in my life I ran like my race confidently, I guess. I mean, I'd say like when I went out hard at CCC, I ran my race, but I also didn't do that very confidently. So yeah, I think like I don't know. It was funny. It was funny. There was a point where uh I because I didn't know we were under course record. Like I honestly thought the race was going to be 1 in 740, you know, because I was like Hayden ran 730. We were all there kind of watching that last year, and it was like, no way am I going to run 730. And so when I found out at halfway we were under course record by like kind of a lot, kind of like a reckless amount ahead of the course record. And then at that point, right after 50K, Eli put in a pretty big move. It felt big. He put a ton of time in me, like 2 minutes and like 2 miles maybe. After that aid station, and Drew, I think you were running with me at the time, and you were like, "It's okay. You got him right where you want him." And I was like, I kind of looked at. I don't know if I looked at you. I was probably looking at my feet, but because we were going up a hill. But I was kind of like, dude, like we're going so fast. Like if he holds that, like kudos to him. But like I was like, I'm willing to bet that he's not going to. And like yeah, 15 miles later, I guess that came true. But it's just like to that point, it's like, I mean, I also probably didn't have I didn't have that speed at that point that he did, but yeah, it's like
Didn't need it though.
Didn't need it, but to be confident in the moment was like something I never experienced like that before. But it also again like helps having you guys like it's like everybody's crew is probably great for them, and they're great people and they love them, but it's like I was bringing like a gun to a knife fight. Like I was bringing like 3 golden ticket winners, like a freaking like Moy's been like so seasoned in trail running for so long. It's like I was bringing like I was bringing like professionals into like I don't know what I guess like a lot of people aren't so lucky to have as their crew. So
we did have that
like,
crewing dialed. We all had one job and we did it perfectly every time he came through.
So good.
Yeah. Wait. So I actually want to hear like.
Minus, yeah. Well, we had to work the kinks out, you know.
Dude, I want to hear what the day was like from y'all's end.
Dude, it was the best party ever. We had a good time, man.
Yeah. Let me represent Dylan's perspective real quick.
Yeah.
Dude, this was insane. I don't know if you guys felt this. Maybe you did, Drew, because you were coming off the pace off your pacing duty at mile 50. Dude, that moment was so goddamn emotional. Like, just like how locked in you were, Seth, but like kind of fragile. Like the moment is fragile, and you're like, Drew's icing you, and you're like, stop. You're drinking a Coke, and you could easily just start vomiting. Like that happens.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
You know,
going into that aid station, I was like bonking. My fingers were numb. My face was going tingly.
Yeah, dude. So we all like kind of sent you out with like our little piece of advice or like support, and you left. Dude, Dylan was like, that was like so emotional and full on. And dude, like same. It was like your adrenaline is just like pumping. Like I don't know, it's crazy. Like to feel that.
Yeah, we are told that. I was great to see and to experience. In one hand, I wish I paced, but in the other hand, I was like, I don't think I will have been able to keep up. So it's better I didn't. But like, it's two little things. Like at mile 30, right? Yeah. We like you arrive. You know, we put the bandana. Adam is in sunscreen duty, and Matt is in soft flags and gels, and it's all down super quick. You leave with Drew, and the guy who managed the aid station, he's like, "Is this like Formula One now?" Like literally, says that. And I was like, "Well, dude, yeah, you bet it is." And the other very cool part is like, like just to share the emotions that we were experiencing in our side before Matt started to pace you, you know, for the last 10 miles. He's like standing still. We're waiting for you. Dude, his heart rate is like 100. Just standing.
With my heart rate monitor on, it was 112 beats a minute.
He's just
no way.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a dude with a 35 resting heart rate. For perspective.
You know, like this is crazy. And like Matt is just like, my heart rate is 112.
Man. Yeah,
that's
I think
so funny.
One of my favorite parts of the day was like right when I don't know if it's my favorite, but it was a really funny part of the day. Was we pulled up to the first aid station and we're all like confident and stoked, and it's early on in the day, you know, and we get to our spot where we're setting everything up, and like there's like probably 90 seconds before you're about to come in. And well, first of all, we got there and we had none of your stuff. We left it in the car.
No, Drew brought the cooler, and he's like, "Oh, I got the cooler."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Okay, where are like stuff? You know, like gels, chews."
Because I just had it in a grocery bag.
Yeah. And Drew's like, "Oh yeah, set stuff."
And then, like a minute and a half before you come through, we realized that we hadn't filled up any of your bottles. So we were scrambling to like get that done. But then after that, it was like
so dialed
on point, dialed in from there on, and it worked out. Like everything was fine when you came.
Yeah, dude,
and you really, I think, elevated us to a whole nother level. Like when you came to that first aid station and left, we were all like, "Too easy, game on, like let's go."
Yeah, that's funny. I think you told me that story like the next day, and it gave me anxiety. Like I got like a rush of adrenaline. You guys saying you didn't have water in the bottles, because like I've been in that situation where I'm crewing and I'm like, oh shoot, like I don't have this thing, you know.
We don't have the water, but thankfully there are VIPA people who had water accessible to everybody. And there's also something very cool about the race itself. It's like very competitive, world class, super fast, a lot of people running it, but it's so easy to just like interact with the organization. Dude, like you just go, hey, can I grab water? Yeah, for sure. Like where should we stand? Like, okay,
getting
like
clarification.
Yeah, we should like touch the cone, you know, like that wasn't the easiest, but like very like easy to access. And we could be like the four of us just there crewing, you know, versus other ways where like you need to have a beef and only one person can crew, and you can't get in before a certain time, and it's like a whole pain. This is so nice and so smooth, so different than what I have experienced in like other races in Europe. And it felt very nice. Like we like just hang out and had a great time while being dialed and like trying to crew you.
Yeah. That is a
perspective.
Yeah, that's great to point out. Like Aravaipa puts on this race that's like so well run. Like everything's done very timely, very organized, but yet it's like also approachable and friendly, and
yes,
like you're saying, like it's like it's comfy, cozy, and professional at the same time.
Yeah, it feels familiar, you know, like it feels very good,
dude.
And
one more thing, I was just remembering that Dylan was saying in the car, like after we left mile 50, and I was like, dude, what was like the most surprising thing so far about the day? And he was like, dude, like I'm surprised at how like much different this feels being here than it does watching it on a live stream. You know, like it's really exciting watching on the live stream, but like to get to be on the ground, part of someone's crew, right up close is like such a special experience. And so for anyone like listening, if you've not been part of a crew before, or you're like, you have an opportunity to be part of someone's day, like do it, because it is like such a special part about trail running that you can like go be on the field and like it. I'm telling you, like the driving back in the car from Table Mesa to the finish was like just buzzing, and like it's such a crazy high that you get from being able to like help someone on their race day. So like I don't know, it's pretty special.
That's cool. Yeah, super exciting. Yeah, go cruise somebody if you get a chance. Drew, you got to bounce.
No, I'm not. Well, I got
okay.
I should bounce. But
okay.
Okay. So Seth, coming into that last crude aid station where I turned you over to Matt, you had a pretty significant low. In fact, so low that you even threw up a couple times.
Yeah.
How'd you get through that? And like, where was your head at in that moment?
Yeah, I think it's funny. That was so funny because I guess sort of the backstory to throwing up is I had been using a drink mix and gels, and they're very opposite flavors. Like drink mix is very like sweet, like a baked good. Gels are very tart. All day the drink mix, everything's going down well, but the drink mix is like hitting, like slamming it super well. And actually, we get up to like mile 40, that climb. After 42, maybe there's a climb that's long, and I told Drew, I was like, I gotta stop to pee. But the truth of that is I was actually very nauseous. And I like peed just to gather myself. And
I do that whenever I'm swimming with you, Seth. I'm like, I have to pee, but I'm really just
stop. It was literally like, man, I don't feel good. I'm like, pee, stop. It was exactly like training. So anyway, I had no, I had deduced that like it was the drink mix, and I didn't know if it was the flavor or like what it was doing to my gut. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. So then
the pace, I don't know.
It could be the pace, could be the heat, but the crazy thing is, I pass Eli, and like I'm in the lead, like buzzing. I'm like stoked.
He's
2 minutes later,
he's flying too. Like I sent him out of the aid station right before he passed Eli, and like iced him all up, sent him out, and then I filled like one bottle, and then I had to run like 5:30s for like 5 minutes to catch back up. Like he was ripping.
Yeah, it was funny. I did keep looking back. I was like, man, was Drew coming? Like I need someone to talk to. And right when you get to me, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try a gel, but I was out of gels because I had planned to use calories with the drink mix and gels. But I had an emergency gel that I had borrowed from Adam the day before, 100 milligrams of caffeine.
Bad decision.
And I had it in my shorts, and I was like, dude, look at me, like planning ahead. I pull it out, I rip it, touches my tongue. I didn't get none of it got into my mouth. Touched my tongue, I immediately gagged, dry heaved, and then immediately vomited like 3 times. And from that point on, I was like, I can't consume anything. But like the funniest thing is after vomiting, I was like, I feel so good. I was like euphoric.
And then like the gel helped your performance, which was its job,
Yeah, it definitely helped me for like 5 minutes or like 2 miles, because then as Drew's kind of pointing out, like maybe 2 miles to the crew spot, because I hadn't had calories for 5-6 miles, which at that point is a lot of time to go without anything. And I started like really dogging. Like we passed Jim and Jess, and like they were cheering for me, and I was like, and Drew said some words, and I was like, I can't even talk right now. Like my lips are starting to go numb, my fingertips are going numb, like signs of bonking. And thankfully you guys were there right in the nick of time with a couple Coca-Colas opened already. It was like hero.
We had a couple of Coca-Colas open. We had Coca-Colas ready the whole day, and at this point we didn't. So you arrived like, I need some Coke, and we're like, of course he needs some Coke. So we had to dig into the cooler quick, but like we didn't have them ready. You're like,
it's true.
Every time we have them ready, but
yeah, the only way I knew they were down at the very bottom of the cooler to grab them was because I had just chugged one right before taking you off. I realized, I was like, shoot, I haven't eaten all day, and I'm about to have to like rip 6-minute miles to finish this thing off.
Oh my goodness. But it was like beautiful. Like I think I smashed one Coke. There were little cans. Smashed one Coke and then like almost got completely through the second one before I like even like grabbed my gels and bottles. Like it was like Coca-Cola needs to be nutrition. I don't know why they're not selling Coke on the feed, dude. It's like
Right.
it's the most performance enhancing carbohydrate drink in the world.
Maybe because you can find it everywhere. But okay, so if you had the chance to say something to Jim, you know, if you were feeling good, what would you have said? Like, hey, see you at States, dog.
I would have literally said, "See you at States." I'm coming for you at States. Uh, no, I don't know. I probably would have just said thank you at bare minimum. But I'm pretty sure I was just like, meh. Like I was cooked. So,
But
yeah,
it was
it was.
super. Yeah, go ahead, Seth.
No, go. No, I was just gonna say the timing was impeccable of that crew spot.
No, I was just gonna say that like you threw up a little bit, and there wasn't any moment or any energy expressed to the world. You maybe were stressing internally, but you were like, no big deal. Fine. I'm fine. Like this is not going to affect my day. And you
Do you
didn't
remember what I?
you did not let yourself spiral for 1 second. And I think that that's really important because you were just like, okay, how do I troubleshoot this? How do I get to the next aid station? And what am I doing at that point to get myself into a better position? And for so many, we've all seen this. We've all experienced this where like, oh, something little happens and you let that yourself like, you know, lose that moment.
Yeah.
So,
do you remember what I said to you?
I do
I
not.
was like, Drew, did I make you nervous when I
Yeah.
vomited? Because I was like, I can't imagine pacing somebody and they vomit and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
what do I do? But
Guys,
yeah,
I got to
that was
roll.
crazy.
I love
All
y'all.
right, have fun at Nike.
Yeah.
Next
dude.
time, send us a tour.
Yeah. I
Twitter
don't know if
video.
I'm allowed to do that, but you know.
You're probably not allowed to do that.
Thanks for pulling through, dude. Have a
All
great
right.
evening.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on. All right, see you.
Yeah. Well said. Whatever you did this weekend was just a dream. I don't think that it could have happened in a better way. Like everything was perfect. The race, the day, the video, the ambiance, the vibes in the house, the coffee, you know.
The vibes were class.
Like
they were so good.
And this is the kind of days or weekends of experiences that it should just live forever in our memories. And I mean, the performance is like the cherry on the top, but like everything was just great, and you really like knocked it out of the park. So make sure that you like embrace that for a while, because like these moments are so scarce. Like there's so few in life, you know. That you gotta taste it very well, and like we're just so proud of you, dude. What
Thanks,
you did
man.
was
Thanks. And to that point, like I think all of us, like it's such a beautiful thing that Dylan was there to get the footage, because I think all of us in one form or another like have said we've watched that video like 10 times more. Like
I watch it
how many times have you
you
ever
can
watched?
just relive it.
I don't know, maybe like 10 or 15. I don't know, like a bunch, you know.
I'm working.
We're just padding our stats out here.
I'm like working and I need a break. I just watch the video.
That's funny.
I just watched the beginning just to hear Adam's inspirational speech, man.
Dude, that
like,
was crazy. And it's funny, like I feel like when you're Adam's, like I know you guys experience this, when you're Adam's friend, you're like you just get used to like you get used to Adam saying really timely, important banger things. When you hear it a second time, you're like, oh my goodness, that was like brilliant.
Dylan sound like really good with the edit, you know, but dude, that's the stuff that we do like pre-race, you know, when we're in the car. Like it's a special kind of, you know, I mean it like kind of a sacred moment, you know. So that's why I'm watching that video so much, is it's so cool to like, I've watched all of them, you know, like just to relive the weekend, like all the little vibes, trying to get the coffee grinder to work on the first day, like you know, fun weekend.
Oh man, that was so fun.
I want to know, outside of the racing, both days of racing, what was your favorite moment of the whole weekend?
Oh, dude, I mean, I think I think some of the favorite like my favorite moment. Oh man, honestly, like one of my favorite moments was Sunday, just going to Futuro, and we were just chilling at the coffee shop. We were all kind of chatting. We were kind of like,
Work was done.
we had just raced, so like, distracted on the phone a little bit, chatting. But it's like all of us, like, nobody, everybody was done racing. We were just like enjoying the coffee, enjoying like just existing. Um, yeah, that was super cool. And then like just hanging out at the house, man. Like, uh, obviously my favorite moments are like when the race is done because I was like pretty anxious about the 100K. So just hanging out the house and just like uh ordering food in, ordering Thai in, and like just chilling. It was like so good.
In a good way, or
in a good way. Dude.
Okay.
It was so good. Well,
Dude, it was so good.
yours
So
was a little bit spicy, I think.
Oh yeah.
Level. But like,
Dude, Matt got an Arizona hot.
You got
Yeah.
a spicy basil chicken on level 3, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
That was fun.
What about you, Matt? What was one of your favorite moments?
I don't think it should be discussed on the pod.
Yeah,
know.
probably not. Probably not. You can listeners can guess what that favorite. Actually, maybe not. I don't want to know what people would guess about the favorite moment. But yeah, dude. But
Dude,
okay.
I share your favorite moment, Seth. Going to Futuro like twice or not 3 times, twice. Dude, anyone who's sleeping on Futuro still and goes down to race in Phoenix, you're making a mistake. Like, you got to go there. It is the coolest, most artistic expression of coffee and like vibe of the city of Phoenix and like Latino culture that I've experienced. So dope. And the coffee is amazing.
And like, the people who work there are genuinely quite nice.
Yes.
Like sometimes you go to these nice coffee shops and they're like very pretentious. And these guys, like, you look at them like they're so cool. They're gonna be like unwilling to accommodate me. And like the first day I asked for something that they didn't have on the menu, and he like thought about it, and he was like, "Yeah, we can do that." Like, and then they proceeded to bring out like the best iced espresso I've ever had. Like, so that you got to go to Futuro.
Moy, you had one of the best drinks you've ever had in your life there.
Yeah. What was it? What's the name?
You got a cappuccino.
Horchata. Horchata is amazing, dude.
Oh, right. Yeah, you got the horchata to go.
Yeah, that was so good.
So
That was good.
Yeah, that was a good.
Okay, but the weekend wasn't over. I want to hear about y'all's 50K, dude.
So I want to.
You guys are back, season openers, man.
What's your favorite moment?
My favorite moment of the weekend.
Yeah.
So I think just having before the race, just like having breakfast, all of us, like kind of like before everything started, and we're like eating bagels and like like that, and also like just chilling in the patio by the pool.
That was fun.
You know, just like by the little fire.
Oh yeah.
Like, that was like,
what about when Moy just jumped in the pool?
That was insane. Dude, this is a heated
that was
pool.
My favorite moment for sure.
And Moy had a little heated moment at work and just took his shirt off and jumped in the pool with no warning.
Dude, and this pool was freezing.
So cold.
The pool was cold. The pool was cold. It was Friday, like 5-6 p.m. dude, and I like was dealing with some work stuff, and I was like, I needed to cool off, so I just went to the pool, and guess what?
It worked.
I cool off.
Yeah, that was like the first thing of the weekend that I couldn't believe. Like, I remember I was laying on the ground with my feet up on the chair, and so I watched it from like an upside down view, and it was like, what is Moy doing? Oh my goodness, he's in the pool, like. And I like got up and turned around to make sure like my eyes didn't deceive me. It was crazy.
And it was cold enough. Like, we had the fire pit on, like breezy and cool enough at that time when you did that.
Yeah. And dude, the pool was so cold. I never got in above my knees.
Yeah.
Well, post race recovery was great.
It was for the leg flush. For
sure. I don't know. I didn't get in.
Yeah.
Needless to say, there was no pool party.
Pool party.
I mean,
we were pretty cooked. I feel like.
Yeah, it was a tiring weekend, like with such an exciting day on Saturday and then racing on Sunday.
Yeah,
for sure.
Waking up 4:35 in the morning the whole weekend, basically.
Yeah,
you know.
That's true.
Major.
That's true.
I also another of my favorite moments is like I share a bedroom with Drew and Adam,
Oh yeah.
and it just felt like school. I don't know, like just like a pajama party, you know, like
Yeah,
just
summer camp or something.
just like like just chatting with Adam before we go to before we go to sleep, just like chatting about life, and then like, okay, good night, dude, good night, you know, like that was nice.
It was really nice. There's something like so nice about a little tiny twin bed. Nothing fancy. It's like your little space. You know, I love like a couple nights in a scenario like that. It's
Me
fun.
too.
Dude, I felt bad. I had like this massive bed, and like
Yeah.
if you went in after like the entire weekend, like 90% of the bed was still made. Like I just slept on my little corner. Like I could have easily been in that twin bed, like comfy.
I do prefer small beds. Like when I'm sleeping alone, I like to just be like in a small little bed, like
Yeah.
just chilling alone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. It's amazing.
All right. Well, Moy, what'd you think about Sunday, dude? Like, what's your race experience?
It was yeah, no, it was very good. I'm gonna do a play by play now. It's actually so
Wait, I want to
funny.
hear a play-by-play.
It's like so interesting for me. This is just to tell you how new this is for me. I'm like running. We start and like I felt good. I was a little worried that my hips were not gonna feel good and my stride was gonna be like super short or something. I haven't done any speed work in the last couple of months just because I was dealing with some things. So this was a little bit of a test, but I was very intrigued, dude. And like, if you ask me like a couple of years ago or even a year ago, like, hey, would you ever run like Black Canyons? I'd be like, no, I have nothing to do there. But I'm committed to learning and discovering and exploring like American trail running, mainly because like last year, like I really want to do Walleye Canyons, and last year, like I realized that I was like not prepared at all for it, and this is kind of a way like a reality check for me to understand like the things that I want to work on for that race, dude. This is funny. Like we start the race, we're running. There's a group ahead, running super fast, like fastest that I could run on a track probably. And I'm like, whatever, good for them, you know. And it's beautiful. You're like cresting this hill, and then the sun is coming out, and it's like everything's moving like very nice and quick. And then I look at my watch, like I don't know, a few minutes later, and we already did like 5 miles. And I'm like, what? It's so crazy. It's like so efficient. I was like, oh, this race is gonna go by quick. We already did like 5 miles. We have like 25 to go. So that was a feeling a lot of the time. And then it was extremely entertaining. I was worried that I was gonna get bored in the race before running it because I don't know, I was like net downhill and just running and running and running. And like sometimes I'm like super tired of doing the whole downhill of Gold Hill, and I was like, maybe I'm gonna be like, oh man, I need a none
Way
of that.
more interesting trail.
So entertaining, like super nice single track. You gotta be locked in. You gotta be watching for rocks. I didn't tell you this, but I wasn't like I wasn't able to like really look well. At some point, I had to stop and like take my contacts out because it was like so quick. I was like, I don't see it, so I take my contacts out. Get right, super entertaining, like switchbacks. Um, super entertaining.
Wait, this is a point we should just like state out loud. That course is pretty technical and difficult.
Yeah, surprisingly.
And that's the thing. Like in Europe, everybody's like, "Oh, American trail running so like." No, I mean some races, yeah, but like this one particularly, it is very so like this makes whatever you did even much more impressive. It's just you have to be locked in, and it's very technical.
Yeah, every step is like you're picking it for them once you get on the track.
You are picking.
Yeah. No,
everything.
thank you. I just like I feel like that point gets undersold and people think it's like a road race. So
No.
continue.
So yeah, just like for me, it's just a mix of the two things that I'm like the least best, and like they're very uncomfortable. So that's what I was trying to also find. For me, it was very uncomfortable to like try to keep my balance while trying to run very fast and like not feel out of the trail in like this like single track. Like at some point, like Adam passed me. He said, "Dude, follow me. You have to just be flowing with the trail." And I'm like, "I'm trying to flow, dude. Like this is my flow." Like I was giving my best, and I was just like, "Just flow, like this is a wave." I was like, "What?" So like very uncomfortable for me to flow, like leg wise. I was like picking the steps and like trying not to fall and like trying to move the legs quick. So a very good exercise. A funny anecdote. Like at some point before one of the aid station, like in a flat area, I don't know, maybe 10 miles in, I would say.
Yeah.
This is like nice and like flat and like it's like nice and runnable, like in a desert thing. And then the guy that we met the day before, Brett from a single track.
Oh yeah.
He's behind me, and dude, and he's just super close, and I just like wipe out in the ground. That was the only time I fell. I was like, you just fell
on the
ground.
flat, like non-technical part.
Yeah, I guess at a rock or something, and like my freaking soft flag exploded, and then there I am in the desert, like looking for the soft flag like top, while my drink mix is falling out. I was like, and then like your hands get slippery with the drink mix, and you can't put it in. That was super funny, and then that's when he passed me. But overall, super entertaining. Like I really highly recommend this race. I have a lot of things to work on, but that's fine. Like this is what I'm trying to do. Um, Super fun, like such a fun 50K. And then you have a few climbs, like coming out from Bumblebee.
Yeah.
You have like a nice climb there. That was great. And that's funny. Like that's when I actually started to pass some people again, which it felt good. I couldn't pass anybody in the freaking first 20 miles. Like I couldn't pass a single person. But after that, I started passing some people, so that's good. And I felt good. I mean, yeah, like it's like it was a good race for somebody who hasn't done a single speed workout in a while,
Yeah.
So this is very good. I do feel strong, and my legs feel very strong. Like I actually felt surprisingly much better than what I thought that I could feel, muscular, like leg wise. And I feel strong, on my aerobic capacity. I just gotta work on speed and and the capacity of running fast, which is the goal for Canyon. So we're gonna be working on that, and that's very exciting. And then having you guys there is just like super fun, super entertaining. I love the race, honestly, even though it's like, well, I didn't go there to build up my ego or anything like that. It's like the opposite, and that's pretty cool. And I really loved it. It was like a great experience. Yeah,
you crushed it, dude. It was so fun getting together.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun crewing. Seeing you come through Bumblebee, like the excitement was high. And also like, yeah, I think we've talked about this before. You're so fit. It's like once you figure out like the specifics of the American racing type thing, it's like I'm gonna be ducking you at races. I'm not gonna race. I'm gonna avoid you at races, man.
There is something so cool about so the first lady passed me in the last 10 miles, Alison Baca.
Which she closed really hard and passed a lot of people in the last 5 miles.
I mean,
so
passed me right
crazy. And dude, she's a fan of the pod.
Dude, shout out
Alison Baca.
This is the thing, like she passed me, and I was just blown away by how powerful and beautiful like her stride on that terrain was. I was just like, oh my god, like I felt like a kid that is like has no idea what he's doing. Literally so like so nice, so strong, like beautiful stride. Super. It's like when I see like when we did that workout and then with Matt on the flat.
Mm-hmm.
And then like at far away, I would see like Matt doing like his speed, like 90 seconds. And it would be like more beautiful, like such a powerful, it was like that, like super impactful and very inspiring. So dude, that was a highlight for me for sure. Just like seeing people run, like even Adam, when Adam passed me, just like so easy, so natural, like so flowy, as he say, so freely, as somebody else would call it. Dude, that's super inspiring. It's like, it's extremely like inspiring for me to like learn how to do that now, or work on my weaknesses to improve that.
Well, dude, you did really great for your first crack at that race. I mean, that was my 4th or 5th time like running on the Black Canyon Trail. So it's like, it's not my first time riding that wave. It's like I know how to run those super like banked like turns and how like, you know, like, I don't know. I just feel like the experience like helped me run it more efficiently. It's I don't know, dude. It's so funny. Like maybe a little different perspective coming into this race. Like I also was like definitely not in a place of peak fitness. And I kind of signed up for this as like all you guys are going to be here. I'm like very not fit, to put it lightly, but like, okay, I'm going to go, I'm going to race. Like, this is going to be sick. And it totally like reignited this like fire in me to train and get ready. And so I'm really grateful to the race and you guys all planning to do it for that. But like, as the race kept getting closer for me, I, you know, like we all do this, like you start moving the goalposts for yourself and it's like, oh, okay, well, like I just wanted to finish and now I want to run under 4 hours and now I want to run 340 and maybe I could run 330 if I, you know, like you just like keep doing it. And so it was really interesting as the race like started for me. It was weird because like last year when I was training for the 100K, I ran like 50K with you 3 weeks before or a month before, like pretty fast. And I was like, at that time, I felt like I was in decent fitness. But I felt, and I think my splits objectively were way better this year for the first 20 miles. It's super weird. Like, so like maybe it's the way I paced this year. It was dry, so that makes a difference. But like the trail was dry, but I don't know. Like I was really happy to be running that race the way that I ran it, like going out really smooth. Whereas last year, I feel like I overreached at the beginning and like felt like shit almost immediately. And then just was like feeling like shit all the way to mile 20, you know? And instead I got to mile 20 this year and was just like, dude, I feel really good. Like I am actually running really, I can't believe I'm running this fast. And I don't know, like I got more than I deserved, or at least what I deserved that day, like blowing up in the last 5 miles or what are 6 miles. Like, I mean, was like more than I could have asked for given the training I had coming in. So I was like really happy about how the day went for me.
Yeah, I love when you came through the Bumblebee crew spot and you looked back at me, you're like, I'm on one, dog.
Dude, I
I
was
was
like,
like, let's go.
Yeah,
You were moving in that section.
Seth, it was cool. Like I just had like chills when he came through because I remember us standing there a year ago and it was like, dude, night and day compared to last year, how he came through and what he looked like and how
when
he
I
felt.
walked
like,
into the aid station,
dude, with the head down, like you just last year looked so defeated and like you were just like ready to like, that was like the nail in the coffin for you. Like, you know, and so it was really cool to see you in a better headspace and having a good day. And like, you know, I mean, probably a lot of things contributed to that, but like Seth, I think you setting the tone for the weekend and your positivity and confidence and all of us just having a good time, like it just rubbed off on all of us with everything we were doing all weekend. And
definitely,
it was definitely evident with Adam and Moy when they came through Bumblebee. They were both like, you know, super relaxed and happy and just having a good time. Like regardless of what the outcome was going to be, they both just looked so happy. So that was cool.
That's such a good reflection. And dude, it reminds me, Seth, like something you said at the very beginning of this pod about like you follow the coffee club because you love to watch them race. And like you felt like maybe last year you were kind of carrying a little bit of weight of like, man, I'm like, I want to like put on for all the Boulder Boy fans out there, you know? And it's like, I feel like, dude, like I know I'm this way with people that I like, for all of you, first of all, as my friends, but like people I look up to or follow in the sport is like, I want to follow their story. Like, I mean, it's sick when they win or like have a good race, but like, it's almost like people are interested in the richness of like your win, Seth, means so much to everyone who's going to listen to this pod because they were along for the freaking ride, dude, of like time after time after time. And so kind of like Matt, to your point, like I had forgotten like the difference between like Bumblebee last year, Bumblebee this year. And I don't know, dude, it's like, that's part of my story. This is part of Moy's story for like your entree to like American trail racing, you know? And it's like, I don't know, that's the fun part about following.
It is a journey, dude. That's a very very good way to put it together. It's a journey, and you can't always be at the top or at the bottom. So I agree, and and yeah, like seeing you, you know, like Seth go visit you, and then you start training, and then boom, you know, you're back. Well, you actually never left, but now you're like back, and I can't wait to see what you're gonna do at Canyons 50K, and also Seth, what you guys get to race each other. I get to race somebody else. In this table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Who is gonna help me get faster?
Wait, so is this your first rematch right here?
Yeah.
Since Big Alta, yeah.
And
right?
this is
or
our
no, since Canyons last year.
And this is our first rematch. Oh, because you guys
Moy and I are 1-1.
We're 1-1
because I DNF'd Canyons last year.
Yeah.
So
Seth, you're gonna get a chance to square it up with me, dude.
I know. Honestly, like this day, it took too long to get to this day, man. When you passed me at Chuckanut, I felt like immediately, like even before I finished, I was like, oh, I want to redo this one.
We'll get to.
So
which makes me a little nervous because
okay, so
yeah, that was terrifying.
Now I do have a lot of pressure on myself, dude, because I'm the only one who hasn't got a golden ticket.
Well,
I haven't
tried,
but
yeah,
but I'm going to try.
I mean, dude, like you're well along your way. Like I think Matt might be the only one here that got it probably on his first year running trail run or ultra, but
different time too, though, dude.
Technically, your second try too.
Yeah, well, actually, that's true.
Yeah,
knocked yourself out in the first one, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Adam, what was it, 4 or 5 years working towards it? Years. Like this was my third time at that race, you know. And to be fair, like CCC was a golden ticket race that I wanted that ticket there, so you know that's 3 races prior trying to get a ticket. Like, dude, you're well on your way. Like, you're in a much better position than I think a lot of us might have been.
I'm curious for you, and then Moy, I'm curious for you too. Like, for me, dude, like I was like possessed by getting a golden ticket for so long that like every time I'd miss, it was like, all right, like, okay, I'm gonna like it never like wavered wanting that ticket over the 4, I think it was like 4 years of trying in earnest. Has it been that way for you? Because I know you've kind of been like, I don't know if I want to run states before you get a ticket.
Yeah, I definitely come from like a different side of it. Like even for this past weekend, like winning was the thing that got me most excited. The ticket was like consolation, you know? And yes. I think and that's how it's been in the years past. I think CCC was the first race that I started that I was like, I mean, CCC is a different beast anyway, because if you podium, even if it's not a golden ticket, it's a pretty sick deal. But that was the first race where I was like, I want that ticket, which is why like immediately I was like, I'm going to Black Canyon. But it's like kind of the same concept in a way. It's like I just always wanted to win a golden ticket race because the competition at these things are so big. So it was like I chased that for like, I mean, my entire trail running career. So
how does it feel for you, Moy?
How exciting! I don't know. I mean, it feels very far away. You know, it feels like I have a lot of work to do. I have to like, you know, learn how to like run quicker in these trails. It feels like I have to like, work my way up to that. And it feels far, but it feels achievable and exciting and motivating. And
it's far until it's not far away anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I was gonna say it's super achievable for you. Again, like, you run and keep up, and sometimes drop 4 dudes who have gotten a golden ticket. So,
I just do it on a race. Yeah.
What?
I just gotta do it on a race now.
Yeah, it'll come. It'll happen. Wait, Adam, just to go back to the storyline thing, I think it was interesting, and if you don't want me to share this, I'll cut it out. No, but I thought it was interesting. The text Jay, your wife, sent you, the morning of the race about like sort of that idea that like, dude, people don't know.
Yeah.
The story, like where you came from.
Dude, that's a good point. Okay, so a little bit of context. So the night before the 50K, so like Seth had gotten his ticket. We were all out roasting in the sun all day, having a great day. But like old, cooked and tired and talking to people and, sitting around for this, interview to happen. That took like
forever.
Having lunch at 6 p.m.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dude,
So
I
like,
almost told him to call me for the interview. Like, we got to get out of here.
it was a tiring day. And I'm like an introvert by nature. So like those social interactions, while I really enjoy them, like are pretty draining for me. And so I got back to our Airbnb and like Moy and I hadn't even gotten our stuff ready. So it was like, all right, like we're racing
Dude, it was
tomorrow.
late. We got back at like 8:30.
I know we got to like eat and then like, oh yeah, we'd gone to the brewery too. Like
Yeah,
we
shout
already
out
ate.
Free Trail, like hung out with them and then like got back, got our stuff together. And I just like slid into bed and I just had this, like, I don't know if I called Jay or texted her, but ended up getting on the phone with her. And I was just kind of like, man, like, I don't know. I'm like tired. I wish, blah, blah. Like the kind of, this happens for me. I don't know if it happens for you guys, but like, dude, before Chuckanut, I think, which was one of my best races, like I was kind of like right before that night. It's like, dude, what am I even doing? Like, what am I like? God, damn, like just kind of this, like, it's almost like the last minute squirm before you jump in the pool. And like, she was just like, I was like, oh, I really miss Arthur, blah, blah, blah. And she was just like, like she's heard this before. And she's like, don't like, first of all, like, you're going to see Arthur in 2 days and like honor the time away from Arthur by like go out there and like do what you went out there to do, which is like try your best, race hard, like make him proud by trying your best and don't like phone it in on this, like, whatever, I'm tired, like just do it. So that was like very motivating. But then she also told me like, and maybe just to share like a little bit more for Boulder Boy Nation here on the pod, but
Boulder Boy Nation.
But dude, in December, I mean, I really was like in a totally different place physically and mentally, like just probably unrecognizable, like for people like to see me. And like I was, you guys know, like Boulder Boys know, but like most people, well, or maybe everyone who's like running one of these races or doing something hard in life has like an invisible story that people can't see on race day or people don't know about. And it's like, that's part of your experience. And like, I don't know, just like remembering like how far I've come in like a pretty short amount of time. And like Julianne, my wife, was like reminding me of like, just be proud of how far you've come and where you want to go. And like, tap into that on race day. Don't get caught up in like now that I'm here, I wish I was fitter than I am. It's like, you're going to, you'll be back there and be where you want to be like soon. But that mindset for me really like got me in a good mental headspace for race day. And then dude, like to Matt's point earlier, like seeing you like pop off like that on Saturday, Seth, it was just like, I mean, Moy and I like have to go out and have a good day now. I mean, like there's no other way about it. It was like really inspirational to see you have such a good day and then just be like, dude, we're having a good run out here,
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool. It was a fun Sunday for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was fun crewing. It's fun driving around crewing you.
Thanks
I like
to you, dude, getting up after 100 Ks on Saturday and
I don't know how
throwing us gels and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like it was so easy compared to standing in the heat for 10 hours waiting for that interview for me the day before. So, dude, it was super no brainer.
Least favorite moment of the weekend? Waiting for the interview.
Oh my goodness, dude! And the thing about that was like, okay, I had to do the drug testing. That I actually like, I felt like I accomplished that in a timely manner. Crushed
Amazing.
that. The interview was like, I kept looking at you guys like, I'm so sorry. Like, you guys looked completely defeated, completely like dead in the face. Like, we got to get out of here.
We're pretty, dude, we've all, it's such a special day. This is like, dude, we're all reveling in your day. Like,
yeah,
there's no timetable,
And we were there for you, you know. Our race, it was
secondary.
Tertiary, I think.
Tertiary.
Tertiary. Yeah. Tertiary to the interview.
Dude, wait, real quick, just because maybe people will be interested. Like, I'll go first, but I want to hear from all of you guys, including you, Matt, on your pacing. So, like, how did your fueling go on race day? And like, did it go according to plan? Like, Seth, I know you kind of like gave some insight here, but like for me, I haven't been training my fueling. And so I was just like, I'm just going to send it on like what I think I can do. I did the math. I ended up doing 98 grams an hour of carbs, which was like, I was pretty stoked on. But my fatal flaw, which is like to the point earlier, Seth, of like, you don't get a mistake at like a big race if you want to like do really well. I skipped that last aid station, Gloriana, with 8 miles to go when it was getting hot. Unlike you, Seth, I should have. I literally like thought about you kind of when I did it, and I was like, oh, but I'm only running 50K and I have half a bottle left, and it's like, no, dude, that's not the move. Like,
to be fair, I would have done that if it was a 50K too.
But I think we kind of talked about that, and so but it was such a mistake because, like, just hydration in a warm environment, desert environment where it's arid already is like so important. And so that's one thing I'm taking away from this at canyons. Like, it's going to get probably hot. It usually is. And it's like, dude, you got to keep the fluids coming all day. So like that was a key takeaway from me. Moy, what about you on your fueling?
Good. I did like 75, 80 grams an hour. Just drink, scratch.
You did mostly fluid form, right?
Yeah, I took one gel at the end in the last, I guess, 3 or 4 miles. Just because I ran out of water, and it was fine. Like, I didn't feel like a massive bunk. I didn't want to do too much fueling. I wanted to like just stay around the 70s, I guess. So that's what I did. Yeah.
Nice. Matt, what about you, dude? I know you chugged a Coke right before.
Yeah. So I chugged
what
a Coke.
about those Egg McMuffins, dude?
Oh, that's right. That's all I had to eat all day was a sausage McMuffin at McDonald's. But
thankfully,
shout out
McDonald's. They're so good, though.
Dude, it was so good. Even though that coffee like burnt the shit out of my mouth, but so I had that Coke right before going, and then I mixed like 1 scoop of Hyperlight into a bottle and chugged that pretty much right before going too. And then throughout, I had a bottle of Hyperlight, like the full mix, so 100 grams of carbs on me, and I think I took a sip the whole. I was just like chatty Cathy,
such a classic, such a classic.
Yeah, I was just talking the whole time to Seth, like as much as I could, because like when we first started going, I could kind of sense like he was in a little bit of a low spot, and that was like right after that 50-mile aid station, and it took him like, I don't know, maybe 3 miles to snap out of it, but I was just like, and then I called you, like I thought there was like an emergency. Called me. I was like, oh shoot, I gotta like call him back. Like maybe I don't know what I was thinking.
No,
Matt's like, dang, I have the keys. I gotta go run back and give him.
Yeah,
it is an error.
Anyways, yes, I was just like talking to Seth the whole time, and I was like so amped and stoked I forgot to like drink and eat. So when we got done and we were like standing around waiting for that interview, I was like bonking so hard, and so I went and quesadillas, and it was clutch. I forget the name of that food truck, but those dudes, they're from San Diego.
They're
so all the seafood that they had brought too was fresh, like they had shrimp and stuff. Anyways,
those quesadillas at the finish were so good.
I never thought I'd be eating like seafood in the desert, but I had a shrimp quesadilla that was just like mud.
Crazier, yeah.
That's what I want to see at some point,
That's right. That's true. Yeah. That's true. All right, Seth, what about you? Like just broad strokes?
Oh, yeah. Dude, it was like 98%. I mean, I'd say like my intentionality was almost perfect.
Nice.
I think it's actually really funny, and it's like, like I know a lot about myself, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I feel pretty well read on nutrition and how the body works, but me and Vic had worked out that, like, this is probably a month ago, 2 months ago even, we had worked out that like I'm going to start with more liquid, and I'm going to calories, and then late in the race I'm going to switch to like exclusively gel calories, like calories from gels. And a week before, had made the decision, no, I'm going to like just do liquid and gels the whole way. And it ended up being like the liquid calories that like ended up making me want to vomit late in the race, which is something I had felt in training, is I was like, this stuff's amazing for 4 hours, but like towards the end I just crave water.
Yeah.
I just crave water. And like towards the end of long runs and training, I was like, I'm I was leaning towards like gels and plain water because it was like gels, they're never fun. They're not enjoyable, but you only have to deal with the flavor for 2 seconds, and like, it's like drink mix, you're like sipping on it for 30 minutes. So, uh, yeah, it's something that like we had planned for me not to use like liquid calories late in the race because we were already aware that that was my tendency, and it's like it was just so easy to do the math with the I was also using the Hyperlight 50 grams and 50, and then I was using a 40-gram Amax gel, and that's 90
Mm.
grams an hour. So super simple math that I liked. And so I was like, oh, I'll just do it the whole way. And then like, yeah, turns out it's like Vic was right. Like, but yeah, the intentionality was good. And like, so for a longer race like States, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I think it'll end up being a mixture of. I think for me, it's almost more of a mixture of different flavor types.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
tart, some sweet, some flavorless.
Plenty of time to play around with it,
Yeah, yeah, hopefully. But yeah, dude.
You
I mean, it
were
was
doing
good.
good hammering gels at the end there. I was really impressed. I've never seen anybody that late in a race just be able to kick back. I think you had like 4 gels in the last
dude.
11
That's
miles.
crazy.
I did. Well, because I was bonked out of my mind, so I had to have two in like the span of a couple minutes early on.
Yeah.
And then I had two more.
Good on you, dude. Yeah.
But
I will say, shout out to anyone who hasn't tried at this point. It's probably no one, but those Science and Sport beta gels, strawberry lime. It's like for me the perfect like watery but like sticky consistency that you can swallow it and you don't feel like you immediately need to drink. They're 40 grams. Those go down smooth, dude. I don't know. I really liked eating those all day.
yeah.
I had my first one at the end of the race.
And it was a little too sweet, right?
I was a little too sweet because I didn't have water.
Yeah.
It's good. You know,
Yeah.
highly recommend.
Fun day.
Sweet.
Dude, what else? Any other like reflections or musings on a dope ass weekend?
Dude, I got nothing, man. I mean, it was just so cool to have everybody out there.
Okay, so maybe like one thing we can wax on for a second. So you're obviously going to Western States in June.
Correct.
Like, what's the shape of your season now, Seth? And maybe we'll go around the horn here, like for anyone else.
Oh, dude, it's like it's funny. I had like one way the season was gonna go
And
in
it's
my
going.
head, and it's going that way. So yeah, I mean, it's Canyon's 50K, Canyon's 50K, hopefully, and then Western States, Leadville 100 mountain bike race, and then like maybe Kodiak, because I gotta, if I don't get top three, if I get top three at States, that'd be sick, because then that would get me into CCC for the next year. But
Does
probably
it not UTMB, just CCC?
No, it would do UTMB, but I don't want to run UTMB.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line. So then maybe Kodiak, and then I don't know. Cape Town looks interesting. I don't know. It's hard to go. It's hard to want to travel.
Dude, I do feel
a
like
long trip over Thanksgiving.
Maybe in a couple years when your mind is ready, but I feel like Seth would be so good at UTMB.
Yeah, probably.
You're such a good mountain runner, dude.
Totally.
Dude, okay, you say that, but I had an emotional breakdown on my way to start Trans Gran Canaria because the race started at midnight and I was so tired.
UTMB starts at 6 p.m., so you won't be tired.
Yeah, I'll be tired. I start to wind down around 4 p.m.
When you're most tired at UTMB, you're on like kind of some pretty serious terrain, so you're like very engaged, and then so I feel like it's just different. I mean, I don't know. I had a pretty there, but yeah, it's just different than like a race that starts at midnight and like you're already tired when you start. I don't know. Is that what you experienced? I mean, we can talk about that later, but
yeah, I don't feel particularly tired at night. I guess this year it was CCC, and I felt like this last year I felt destroyed, but that was for other reasons. I think it's so entertaining.
Yeah,
and so like hype and like so much energy that actually you don't really feel tired. Like you don't really feel like, oh, okay, like I'm like on my own. Like you're never alone.
Yeah.
You always like have like amazing aid stations, and you're always like surrounded by like incredibly strong people. So there's no way to like get bored or like kind of lose focus. It's just you have to be versatile, and it's super entertaining.
I mean,
but yeah,
I was just gonna say I'll probably come around to it. Like at the moment, I'm like I don't need UTMB in my life, like as a race,
absolutely.
like the full loop. But I also said that about Western States
about 2 years ago.
So maybe in 2 years I'll be trying to get into UTMB and
2027 be.
Yeah,
we can start aligning around that. If I were going to do it, dude, I would definitely do what you did and like practice starting runs at 5 p.m. in your build. I feel like that was
that
key.
helped a lot. Yeah.
Dude, Matt was doing crazy runs during that time.
You can do workouts at 6
p.m.
and
it was like it made training fun too, because like
so different.
It sounds terrible when you're like thinking about it, like, and not, but then when like if you're sitting around all day, and then like I remember like I'd go like have a pizza for dinner, and then in like 4 hours after eating the pizza, I would like set off for my run and get back at like 2 or 3 in the morning and just run the whole skyline in Boulder. It was really cool. And the really neat thing is like while you're out there like in the trails in the middle of the night, every now and then you would see like 2 or 3 other trail runners kind of like, doing the same thing. And it's just kind of like that, you had that like nod of respect, and all you see is the headlamp at like late at night. Yeah, it's kind of, it's cool.
Yeah. Only
I feel like we talked about this, but I remember getting off work at like 9 p.m. and Matt would be like texting me about like going, he's like, I'm going for a run. I think even one time you're like, if you want to join for a little bit, I'm about to go for a run. I was like, I'm going straight to bed. Like, it's crazy. I couldn't comprehend. But
so crazy.
I think it is a good move.
Yeah.
Dude.
What about you, dude?
Wait. Are you still doing Leadville mountain bike?
Oh yeah.
Sick.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
That'll be cool.
That's like peak.
Dylan's doing it too.
Yes.
Yeah, so
we should film him.
Dude. We should go. If he'll give us the cameras, we could.
We should all go up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be riding, but actually, like to that point, if I had the little stick cam,
yeah,
I would ride with the stick cam and get footage of Dylan.
Dude, that would be awesome. That'll be fun. Yeah. We'll definitely try and make it out there for that.
Yeah.
When is
it? Like August 8th. It's like early August.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That'll be amazing.
Moy, you're doing Canyons 100K.
Yeah, we're doing Canyons 100K in Western States.
Yep. And then yeah, that's probably about what next? Like something later in the season.
Something
maybe?
later. What's the name? Not Kodiak, Grindstone or Kodiak?
Well, Kodiak is what I'm doing.
That Kodiak, that one, the 100K.
Yeah, I think that's where you want to be.
You're gonna do the 100K too.
Yeah, we're gonna match up there. Yeah.
Dude, amazing, great.
Dude, honestly, the race matchups are wild within the Boulder boys.
They are. They are.
Dude, yeah.
Well, before I was reminded. I also listened to a little bit of the Single Track Pod before coming over here, and dude, shout out Brett Hornig. It's like he was talking a lot of smack before the race. He did get one over on me and Moy, but Seth, you ultimately did get him for the Boulder. You ran a faster split than any of us did, which is impressive and also embarrassing. But yeah, Brett did really well, and like being a new dad, it was like good for you, dude. Like minimal sleep, minimum viable training, and like he ran a really great race. So like shout out to any
doing media the day before,
dude standing around in this insane like full hoodie sweatsuit thing.
Dude,
I was like,
that thing looked good. That thing was cool.
What are you doing, dude? Like, hey, it worked, I guess. Last minute heat training, he said. So,
there you go.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, I'm doing Canyons 50K and then Kodiak 100K, maybe something else, but like I don't know what it's going to be yet. So
we can define. Let's do something together after.
Yeah,
yeah,
sweet.
Yeah, and yours is still the same.
Yeah, Canyons 100K, and then High Lonesome and Run Rabbit, the 3 big ones.
And Western.
Sick.
If I get in.
Yeah. I mean, good. Come on, it's 2 tickets,
dude. I'm gonna be so bummed if all of you guys are running states. Who's gonna crew? Me, crew for. Actually, that would be actually dope to get to crew for.
You could do it.
Yeah. Well,
it would be like first one to Forest Hill gets Adam as a pacer.
Oh, that would be.
It's a race to the pacer.
Maybe you'd
That
all
would be
get there
cool.
at the same time, and I could pace all three of you.
That'd be beautiful.
So I just have to, before we wrap,
1, 2, 3.
I just have to correct a prediction I did about Western States where I say Killian's gonna put 25 minutes on everybody else.
Yes.
That is no longer happening.
Unwind that.
Because our boy is on the race. So I'm gonna have to bet against Killian, but I will only do it for one person, and that's Seth Ruling in this season.
You have me out sprinting Killian, right? Like it's close, but I just get him at the line.
Dude,
I don't think it's even close, dude.
I don't think it's even close, man. I think Killian will be asking for forgiveness, and then he will put 25 minutes on third and fourth and all of that.
Yeah, like we'll both go under 14 hours, but I'm like 13:30, 13:20. Yeah, like
low 13s. I think low 13s, maybe high 12s. Is that what I'm?
12:59, dude. That's the new standard we're setting.
You may not be a 13:35K guy, Seth, but you're a 13:30 Western guy.
Woo.
Yeah,
beautifully said.
I think market here. That's that's us calling, or you guys calling my shot, I guess.
13 something,
Yeah.
It's gonna be so good to see.
It's gonna be sick, dude.
It'll be good, dude. I just hope I get to harass Killian a little bit. Like, I feel like I did my fair share of harassing during Black Canyon, and I don't see why that would change.
Yeah,
you'll have to make sure he gets his bottles this time.
Yeah.
Dude, but you guys, seriously, I'm like just realizing this now. Like, please make it like Year of the Boy at Western States. That'd be so crazy if all of you guys were running.
Year of the Boy, dude. That would be insane. We'd figure it out. We'd have enough. There's enough people that aren't on this podcast right now that would crew us, and that could crew us. Like, we all have people who like are good at running in our circle that can pace us that like aren't sitting here right now. So we would make it work for sure.
Year of the
That'd
Boy.
be sick. The Year of the Boy. Dude, we would just we would just all run up to the front and hold hands and block the trail. It'd be amazing.
I mean, like the three of us plus 3 pacers, 6 people, nobody's getting past.
Nobody's getting past, dude. Dude, people are ending up in the Rucky Chucky and
or in Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know where they're gonna end it up.
Definitely the Chuck E. Cheese. Oh my goodness.
I do have to unwind because I have to pack for a trip that I have tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. This has been a good one.
Yeah.
It's been a good one. Dude, we probably won't get to voicemail because we've been blabbering on for a minute. But dude, one huge shout out to the fans. Like, I wasn't watching, heard they're blowing up the group chat. I heard all the support I got via Instagram message or YouTube comment or whatever was crazy.
Yes.
So
thanks for watching our videos too. Like, it means a lot since we put some effort into making them. So
yeah. By we, it's Dylan.
Yeah. Hey, we held the cameras. You know what I mean? Like,
no, yeah. You guys put effort in, like, but yeah. It's cool. Like, definitely go watch the YouTube videos. I think all of us would say the YouTube videos are a very, very accurate representation of how it felt to be there.
Yeah.
So 100%. If you listen to this pod and you're like, man, I wanted to know more, just watch the video.
100%.
Yeah.
Any last words, Seth, before we wrap out?
No, I got nothing. Just thank you.
Like and subscribe.
To this and to YouTube.
Yes. If you're still listening, do us a favor and share the video around. Like, maybe repost it to post a link to Instagram or something. I don't know. Like, to Seth's point, Dylan put a lot of effort into that, and it'd be cool to like get some views on it. So
yeah. And once again, like, if there's any brands out there that want like a baller content, like, Dylan's your guy. He owns all the cameras and stuff. Like, he owns ready to go.
That was that video.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, I got to tell one story. If you guys have seen go watch the 100K. We'll go watch them all, but this particular instance was for the 100K video. We're like sitting chilling. I think we were like watching TV or YouTube videos or something, and Dylan walks around the corner in a bike kit, still in bike kit, and is like, "Hey guys, I just want to like run this by you. Like, I'm not sure about it. Sets the computer down and proceeds to play the video that is on YouTube, and which is like the best video I've ever seen in my life. And we're like, dude, like this guy's over here, like, I don't know if it's good, and it's like the best video I've ever seen. So
Yeah,
So sick.
it's crazy.
he needed feedback. It's like there's nothing that we can say that can make this better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we were like, that's it, dude.
that's so good, so
but-
talented. Go watch it, share it, and then watch it again. And
Watch them all, dude. There's three from the weekend.
Yeah, 3 videos from the weekend.
The trilogy.
Yeah, Boulder Boys Production Company.
Yeah, you got it. Sweet. Yeah. No, thanks for listening, everybody, to Boulder Boy Show, episode 34. Catch us next week.
Yes.
Over and out.
Over and out. Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Peace.